regards to the activism thing, 99% of the time when I see somebody in academia who is fired for the boldness of the research, they were academic with very strong formed political conceptions that were influencing their work, and they realized they could make more money being a social figure or a public advocate for their political positions than remaining within academia. Recently did this, an entirely unremarkable man in terms of his academic contributions. He got famous for lying about Bill C-16 and
she beeps out Jordan Peterson's name, but then leaves in Bill C-16, which tells you exactly who he's talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why she beeped out Jordan Peterson. He's like a public figure now.
Well, because he's targeting Jordan Peterson, and she's friends with Jordan Peterson, obviously.
No, I understand, but I'm saying like everyone knows who he's talking about. Jordan Peterson's a public figure.
If she would have beeped out Bill C-16, she would have got away with it. I'm saying she kind of half-assed it on the beeping thing.
Well, but it's good that we know he's talking about Jordan Peterson.
I know. She shouldn't have beeped it out at all. Yeah.
Because Jordan Peterson was like one of the most heavily cited psychologists, I thought, before he stopped practicing.
And one of the most popular teachers.
Right. He was one of the most popular teachers, one of the most heavily cited psychologists. And then fucking Lardass over here is all like, yeah, he was a completely unremarkable man for lying about a bill, which turned out he didn't lie about it at all and was completely correct about the bill.
True. Yeah.
So, whatever.
His predictions came true on the bill.
Yes, they did.
Made his way as a self-help guru. And now, of course, he makes far more money doing.
He made his way as a self-help guru. It's not like that was part of his field of study for like most of his fucking career.
I despise this argument because one cancellation was botched.
Yes.
And they pulled that person up as if all these cancellations are botched. Many of them are not botched. And there is this thing called attempted murder. Like just because you fail at your goal to murder somebody doesn't mean that you aren't charged with attempted murder, right?
Yeah.
Just because you failed in your cancellation attempt, which you want Jordan Peterson to be living under a bridge somewhere. That's your fucking goal, okay? And because it backfired tremendously on you, you don't get to run around and say, okay, we were just kidding. We weren't trying to kill you.
Right.
Such fucking bullshit.
That's exactly it. They have this total bullshit survivor's biased nonsensical argument. It's like, oh, well, Jordan Peterson and Brett Weinstein and I don't know, like a couple other people that they like to cite.
And you can't say Brett Weinstein is fucking rich by any stretch of the imagination.
No, right. But he's probably, but he survived his cancellation, basically.
Right.
Like, oh, these people either survived their cancellation or became more popular after being canceled. Therefore, because this handful of people, like the cancellation didn't stick, it's not a real problem. It's like, fuck you. That's such a scum argument.
I'm so glad that you brought up Brett Weinstein and Heather Hine, because I honestly could not tell you if you asked them in private, would you rather be working in academia now, doing some kind of research back in your old gig? You don't have to ask them. You don't have to say, what if this never happened or the effects of this weren't exactly the same? Let's just say academia changed their mind and said, welcome back. We're sorry. Or they don't even have to say they're sorry. They're like, we feel like we're going to take you back. I don't know that they wouldn't go back to academia. I don't know that there's actually tangible damage being done. Like they wouldn't rather be working in some academic setting.
Well, I think if you asked them, or asked Jordan Peterson and said, okay, you have two buttons. One button keeps everything the way it is, including your newfound popularity or money or whatever. The other way will make it so that wokeness never happens. But you'll just be a teacher. You'll just continue your life trajectory before you became famous for getting canceled, okay? I'm pretty sure Jordan Peterson, Brett Weinstein, his wife, basically everyone that's in academia that's been canceled, even if they became somewhat popular afterwards. I'm pretty
Would
sure all of
press
them would
that
press
button.
the button to remove wokeness.
I
because
don't
they
know
care.
about Jordan Peterson.
I think he would.
honestly
I think he
don't.
would. I
That's
really
a
do think
tough
he
one.
would.
Jordan Peterson's like a megastar, though.
I don't think it matters though. Especially with all the problems that he's had with depression and anxiety. I don't think it matters. I think he really cares more about the big picture at the end of the day. And I think all these people do. And I think they would sacrifice, some personal fame to have a society that's fucking sane again. Or at least sane on these issues.
Maybe. Wow.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little bit more optimistic about some of these people than you.
Why Jordan Peterson has so many resources at his disposal now that he's taking advantage of. I mean, it's difficult for me to say because Jordan Peterson's hanging out with like Elon Musk and shit. I don't know that Brett Weinstein is hanging out with Elon Musk. So, I mean, it's a much bigger ask for Jordan Peterson than it is for Brett and Heather.
I guess we'll never know.
Well, maybe we can ask a Patreon question, but he would just say, of course I would press the button.
Yeah, of
but
course.
Would you really? I don't know.
That than he ever could, acting as a professor. But when he was on his way out, he published a big article about how academia has left him behind and he wasn't allowed to do X or Y and blah, blah, blah. And to be honest, I don't really buy it. It's an origin myth, a creation story. Why are you out here spreading the gospel? Well, it's because...
Well, when Jordan Peterson wrote about how he wasn't, able to study things he wanted to, that was all a lie. He knew from that moment that if he lied about this, he would become popular. Okay. He had the 10-dimensional underwater chess Machiavellian approach to the situation.
He published that letter though recently, and it was long after he was a huge megastar. So I mean,
that's not the letter he's talking about.
No, he that's the letter he is talking. He's talking about the letter where he resigned from he resigned his tenure at, what was the university he was teaching at? Doesn't matter. He resigned his tenure and basically said that the institution was woke and that he was no longer going to be teaching there. You can look it up.
No, because he had a statement. He had a statement very early on.
Yeah, but he's talking about two different things.
Okay, well, I don't know what he's talking about then, but
he's talking about the recent statement. Jordan Peterson.
I
Look it up.
I understand that. I understand.
Do you remember the statement?
Yeah, but I also remember he made a statement like really early when all this happened.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
and there's clips of him going on that television show. And I mean, he's fucking shaking. He's like totally.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to lose my job. My life is going to be, like Jordan Peterson thought he was going to be living under the bridge. He did. One of the reasons why Jordan Peterson is so big is because, I mean, he did take the ultimate gamble. He did. And we all deep down, I think, respected the man who, put everything on the line for his values. That's the kind of human being we want to see. Is it not?
Right. And you're right. And that's a part of why he became so popular, was because he was voicing something that so many people felt.
Right. And risked everything to do it. And now Vaush is sitting here saying, nah, he didn't risk anything. Come on. He
knew somehow intrinsically from the offset that this was going to blow up and be big for him.
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson had a crystal ball. He could see, he could tell what was going on.
Such bullshit.
Because academia couldn't handle the truth. Well, what was the truth? And then you look and, well... I think that sociologists and biologists have mostly free reign to determine what they're interested in looking at.
You can continue what you were saying here. I was hoping that this conversation was going to be cordial, but you can go ahead with the point you were making in my case. What were you going to say?
Oh, wait, am I speaking about... I'm not speaking about you. I was speaking...
He doesn't... See, this is why I'm just telling you, Vaush is a fucking dipshit. Vaush doesn't even know that she was canceled over some research. Which obviously she thinks he's talking... about her case as well.
He knows that she's a doctor. He knows that she's a sexual researcher, and he'd have to be a complete moron not to say what he just said and not have it be implied that this applies to her as well. So I do think this was intentional. I don't think he Mr. Beaned his way into this by accident.
What do you... You think he doesn't know that the conversation he's having with her is so similar to her situation that she could easily imply that he's talking about her?
Yes, I don't think for a second he doesn't realize that what he's saying could apply to her.
You think it's deliberate?
Yes.
Okay. I think you're giving this guy way too much credit.
How could you not? He's literally talking about, oh, there's all these academics that are leaving the field of academia to say that they're canceled and to be, anti-SJW, intellectual dark web types. He even talked about this in his video about her.
Right.
He called her an intellectual dark web type. And, they're all doing it to make a bunch of money. He knows that he's talking about her. Come on.
Okay.
What are we doing here? What are we doing here, guys? Come on.
He did say that in the video. He did.
Yes.
But he didn't. I mean, he could have been easily in the video. He could have been speculating about figures like Jordan Peterson or Brett Weinstein and not knowing that she's doing the same, not knowing that the same events have happened to her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm not familiar.
After you finished talking about, I thought you were making a point about me. So if not, that's fine.
No, my apologies. I didn't mean to imply that. No, I'm not familiar with the work that you. I know.
See, he doesn't know any of the work she's done.
I'm not buying it.
What you did. I'm not familiar with the actual research you've done. In my experience, it's very difficult to ascertain the sincerity of people's claims to that effect.
Oh, so I can never ascertain the sincerity of people that I accuse of bad faith and call liars all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. It's not about ascertaining their sincerity. You don't. There's no good faith.
Effect with regards to censorship or the effects of political activism, what have you. Now, does it happen? The question to this, or the answer is undeniably yes, it does. But I don't know if it happens along a line or through a pattern substantial enough to verify the conspiratorial belief that the output of these institutions must be weighted heavily and distorted by the effects of activism. If that makes any sense.
You can't make that statement if you've looked at any of the evidence on this topic. Vaush is completely in the dark here.
Yeah. Well, see, again, I'm not assuming any positive good faith here. I don't think this is I think this is intentional. It's entirely intentional.
Do you think he reads anything on this topic?
He thinks it's good.
Huffington Post.
He thinks it's good that these people are canceled, and he's lying through his fucking teeth.
Okay, you could be right.
Happening.
You could be right. You could be right.